Yo, what's going on, Cowboys fans? Hey, your boy Foots is back. It's a beautiful Monday, President's Day. I'm off. I just got done running, so I don't know if you guys know, but I'm real big into staying in shape. I was talking to Vosh the other day. You guys gotta stay in shape. Make smoothies, drink a million tons of water, do all those little things. So I just got done running. Excuse me, got the Cowboys hat on. Some of y'all got mad at me because I had on my Bowie Broncos 8U hoodie on last week. No, I will never be a Broncos fan in life, but I just had to, show some love. And matter of fact, before we get to this ranking safeties video, yes, I am ranking safeties, got some notes, and I really wanted to take my time with this one because a lot of times what happens during the draft season is people kind of either jump to conclusions or slot guys based on how everybody else has them slotted and don't make original thoughts. What I did was really dive into these safeties, really dive into these players because being honest, you guys see from the title, I think it's time to upgrade Jeff Heath, all right? I know you guys want to draft a D lineman. Hey, Vosh has been telling me let's draft an offensive lineman, an interior offensive lineman. Well, I think that we need a real solid playmaker on the back end. I don't know what's going to happen with Earl Thomas, but I think that we need a real solid playmaker on the back end to pair with Xavier Woods. So I'm going to rank these safeties. I got my top 5, and we're going to get to that list. But before we do that, y'all know that I do a lot, man. I do a whole lot. So you guys did not participate in the last raffle. So I'm running it again, man. Show your boy some love. Bowie Broncos, all right? I'm a youth football coach. It's something that I was doing. This is my 3rd year doing it. I love it, man. I need you guys to follow Bowie Broncos 8U on IG. Show your kids, show the videos. We post workout videos. We post highlights, all that stuff, man. Football and youth football, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's a dying breed, but you don't want kids to lose that love for the game and love for sports and just what, sports can build in character. I think of what it did for me when I was a kid. I played basketball and I played football. And so, them being able to see that and, these kids are on Twitter, they're on YouTube, they're on IG. So follow that, show your kids, just show some love. All right. That's how you guys can get a CD. I will mail you guys a CD if you guys do this. Come back, comment done, and then I'll raffle it off. Also, I just dropped another song, Foots and Coles. You guys have been rocking with me. Been buying the music, been showing love to the music. Here goes a snippet of that. It's called Navigate.
As we navigate to find our way to a happy place, we can't escape. Spending days and days to find our fate. It was cool. It was cool. It was cool. It was cool. It was cool.
And that one is for all you lovebirds, all right? We dropped it on Valentine's Day. It got like a Curtis Mayfield vibe. I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, enough of the love talk. You guys aren't here for that. Let's talk about these safeties. All right, guys, this is me ranking the 2019 draft prospects that are safeties coming out this class. You guys know some of the names, but now I'm going to really introduce and really dive in on these names. Here we go. All right, guys, so before I get started, let me just say this Darnell Savage, he gets an honorable mention, safety from Maryland. I like him. Just wasn't quite good enough to crack this list. Now, if some of you guys have him rated higher, jump in, tell me why. But he just wasn't quite high enough in his skill set. Now, he did do some nice things, but he wasn't quite high enough to make this top 5 list. But who knows? He gets drafted in the right situation. He could really do some nice things. Here we go. Number 5. All right, y'all. Number 5 on this list is a Mr. Deontay Thompson, Alabama, 6'2", 195. All right. He is a really, really big hitter. He is your typical in-the-box safety. Can come up, can stick, is a good tackler at times, has some good athleticism, but then there's times when I see a slow-footed player. I ranked him 5 because the sideline coverage ability just isn't there. The Clemson game was late a lot. He will tackle, but there's also times where he comes up, he sticks, and he doesn't wrap up. Some of my notes that I wrote down, all right? angles are terrible. His slow feet. He just looks slow-footed. He's not a power watcher, so that's a good thing. But you just wonder how much of it was that Alabama defense. So you guys got to understand, every year when you're drafting an Alabama prospect, you got to figure out how good is the prospect versus how good is the system around him, and of course the legend that is Nick Saban. I think that Deontay Thompson is good. I think that he would have benefited from coming back another year, going back to Alabama for another year, kind of developing more. Like you see Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson, true sideline to sideline player. But that is not Deontay Thompson. I think he's more of a box guy. Very strong, very Keanu Neal-esque. Okay, so the difference is Keanu Neal and the way that he's used in Atlanta, it makes a lot of sense for what Atlanta does. I don't know if a team is going to know how to use Deontay Thompson or want him to be kind of a sideline to sideline guy. In other words, what I'm trying to say is he's not a true free. And he doesn't really show any free attributes, at least from the tape that I saw. Now, I could be wrong. You guys come in here, let me know what you guys think, but that is my number 5 ranked safety. Deontay Thompson is good, just for the way that the league is. His coverage ability just isn't that great. All right, guys. Number 4, a Mr. Juan Thornhill, Virginia safety, 6 feet. All right, I really like this player. So he's kind of the opposite of a Deontay Thompson. He is more of that true free cover guy. One problem: doesn't want any wreck in the box. He doesn't want to tackle. I see this guy lunge a lot. He's not really a physical player, but in the right scheme, he can be used as a nickel player and he can legit cover. The other thing that you really see in his tape is he understands route combinations. You can see the way that he plays it, the way that he reads his keys. So in college, with all these RPOs, a lot of defenses now are 4-2-5. And basically what that is you have 5 defensive backs on the field, 2 deep safeties, maybe 3 corners, however you want to mix and match it. But you see him able to flip his hips, turn, run, get his head around, and make plays on the ball. However, when you dig into the tape and you see him come down and fill, he's kind of that ankle, tackle, grab type guy. Okay, that's good for some teams. But for a team like the Cowboys who want their safeties to come down and tackle, like a Jeff Heath, I will give Jeff Heath that. He is not going to shy away from any wreck. He does not duck any bump. He will come down. He will try to lay you out. Xavier Woods, the same type of a player, an aggressive safety. People got to understand, the point of a safety, you are the last line of defense. You need to be a very, very good tackler. If I have issues with you as a tackler, I can't draft you with my first, even though the Cowboys have a 2nd overall pick, or any fan of any team who's watching the stream and may want Juan Thornhill, as their safety 1. You got to think about, will this guy come down, wrap up, and make a big stick? You look at some of these running backs in the league now, Saquon, Zeke. You got to come down and you got to hit. That's the difference between, a big play going to the goal line and you making that tackle and then your defense getting a stout stand or a touchdown. So the safety position, you got to be able to tackle. I like Juan Thornhill a lot. He probably would be a good corner in the league. I just don't know how much he wants to stick his nose in there. Definitely a power watcher. That's why he is my number 4 ranked safety, Juan Thornhill, Virginia. All right, guys, number 3. Okay, this kid right here is a very, very intriguing prospect. Okay, Jonathon Abram, Mississippi State, 215. He looks the part. I mean, if you look at him, if you look at him and Jamal Adams, they're like, they look just alike, built just alike, stout, fast to the ball, great prospects. There's only one problem with Jonathon Abram. He's super high. He's super low. So if you guys go on YouTube, watch right now and watch the Mississippi game, Mississippi State versus Mississippi, you will see a 1st-round player. Absolutely a 1st-round player. I mean, he could find the ball. He was making plays. I think he had like 2 interceptions. I know he had 1. Will come down, will stick in that game. I mean, it was all there. I mean, it was amazing. But then you watch his other tape, you see bad angles. You see a guy who will come down. He will come downhill, right? He will come downhill, but a big problem is he doesn't wrap up. He doesn't want to wrap up at times. So that's something that you got to worry about. But the thing that I like about him is he's super twitchy and his body is developed. So you need a twitched up player in this league. I think in the right system, the thing about him is he's going to have to be coached to see his keys and to learn angles and to learn proper depth. Because there's times where I saw him and, a tight end's running right by him, and if he just took the right step, he would have been able to cover that guy. So Jonathon Abram is a project, but he's a project that he's worth taking because when he's on, he's on. He's just not consistent enough. So he's not quite as good as my 1 and 2 players, but his athleticism flashes a little bit more than Juan Thornhill and Thompson. So that's why I got him right at 3. This Jonathon Abram, you guys go watch. Truthfully, his ceiling is probably the highest out of all of these guys. It really, really is. Dum. All right, guys, number 2. And some of you guys might not like this, but I do have Nassir Adderley at number 2. That's just me. I told you guys I am an original thinker. Now, that's not to say that he won't be better than my number 1 prospect, but Nassir Adderley, 5'11", 200. I love the player. I really, really do. I dug in on his tape. I mean, I got the notes here. But there was one game. Now, we know he's blowing up the all-star circuit right now. He really is. He did great at the Senior Bowl practices. He looks the part. I don't know if I like the Malik Hooker comp. Okay, it's a little early for that because I saw some film the other day that really turned me off, and I'm going to post some of it. You guys will see it. The Elon tape really turned me off. All right, this is lower level competition. Lunging at tackles, not finishing, but the awareness really scared me in that game. He's playing the team Elon, he's Delaware, and I can't call him, that true ball hawk that everybody wants to make him out to be, because while he does have a lot of good tape, again, against lower competition level, and that's not to say that he won't come to the league and be a good player. And he is twitched up, and he did hold his own to Senior Bowl. There were things that I just can't make him my safety 1, especially from over a player who I've been following for years now, seriously. So, but let's get into Nassir Adderley. So, he's sideline to sideline. He really is. He can run. He's fluid. He has great hips, and he will come and knock you out. But he's a very smart player. He's very instinctual. He'll intercept the ball. He'll try to score. He's a smooth player. He's just a smooth athlete. This is no knock on him, but they're just things that I saw in his game that I want him, for example, the awareness in the league. You got to understand what teams are trying to do to you. This is what we coach our team. What are teams trying to do to you? There were times where I saw him kind of compromise and take a bad angle in coverage. And none of these guys are perfect prospects, right? None of them are. But there were times where I saw him just take a false step and then he's beat, or a false step kind of late in coverage and then he's beat. So for a guy who is the talk of town right now, I want to see very, very clean tape. I really, really do. It's not about interceptions. I want to see, are you there? Do you know what a defense is trying to do to you? I think that he has that for the most part, but there were a couple of times where he was just out of position. So that's why he is my number 2 ranked safety in this class. Not a knock, but there are some things where I just want everybody to kind of pump the brakes just a little bit before we say that he's a perfect prospect. When really, none of them are. All right, guys, here we go. Number 1. Taylor Rapp. All right, so this guy, he's a guy who I've been following for a long, long time. Since he came in as a freshman with Washington, he's been on that Chris Peterson defense. This guy, I love him. I love him in the box. I love him as a single high player. I love him as a corner or as a slot player. But he is so aggressive as a tackler. That's what I really love. And it's not that he's a blow you up guy. He's just there. He knows how to tackle. His form is great, but he also has the awareness. You guys got to understand how important that is as a safety. Not only awareness, but he's just a good damn football player. And that was kind of the problem when you get into these, these Obi Melifonwu, even Byron Jones is safety. Byron Jones is a great athlete, but his football kind of, did he really have it? Man, it's Taylor Rapp. He had it. You could watch all his games in the Pac-10. I'm playing some highlights right now. This guy was going against top-level competition, and he was holding his own. He really was. He would come up a stick. You could see him carrying tight ends. All of these things that you ask him to do, he can really do it. A little bit of the issue is the height, and some people might not really be turned on by the height. But to me, I see he's a true 6, maybe 5'11", 200 pounds. But the point is, he looks stout and he plays stout. And think about a Budda Baker, right? Budda Baker, coming from that Washington defense, I said was my favorite safety in that draft. If you look the way that he's played in Arizona, he's been a very, very good player. I think that, Taylor Rapp, being from that same family tree, has some of those same attributes. I really, really do. And if the Cowboys had a chance, even to move up 10 spots, that's my safety one. I'm willing to stand up on the table for him because I evaluated him all since he was a freshman, all the way up until now. And I'm just not going to change just because a guy comes around and now the draft circuit is hot on him. Like, as a scout or as an analyst, you just don't want to do that. You want to make a decision based on all things considered. Level of competition, what the team is asking you to do, what is his role in the defense, and then you want to stick with it. And I just got to say, Taylor Rapp, he's that guy. So just to recap, all right, guys, I got Taylor Rapp 1, Nassir Adderley 2, Jonathon Abram 3, Juan Thornhill 4, and Thompson 5. Those are my safety rankings. Honorable mention, Darnell Savage, Maryland safety. But guys, it's a really decent safety class, but because of all the D linemen in this draft class, some of these good safeties will get pushed back. I don't think that the Cowboys are going to draft a D lineman high. I don't know how much more they're going to put into this offensive line. Maybe they reshuffle. So, safety's right there. I've been screaming, let's get a safety for some years now. I think it's time. All right, guys, it's your boy Foots the King. Remember, Bowie Broncos 8U. Follow us on IG. Show love to my new music. Make sure you guys support all the Cowboys YouTubers out there. The draft is amongst us. Show me some love, y'all. Peace.